Imagine waking up every day with a burning pain shooting down your leg, a constant awareness that shadows your every step. This isn't just any pain, it's deep, persistent and relentless. For many, this is the reality of living with piriformis syndrome, a condition that can turn even the simplest of tasks into a painful ordeal. But what if I told you that relief is not only possible, it's within reach? Today, we're diving into the heart of piriformis syndrome, or as it's increasingly known, deep gluteal pain syndrome. This is a condition where the sciatic nerve gets irritated by the muscles deep within your hips, causing that nagging pain in your buttocks, down the back of your thigh, and even into your foot. We'll guide you through 4 powerful exercises designed to ease that pain, restore your mobility, and get you back to the life you love. Let me introduce you to Maggie. At 55, Maggie thought her active days were behind her. The pain in her hip and leg had become so intense that even getting out of bed was a struggle. She'd given up her morning walks, stopped playing with her grandkids, and felt like she was watching life pass her by. Maggie's story might sound familiar. Maybe you felt that sharp shooting pain from your hip and down your leg. Maybe you've had to say no to activities you once loved. If so, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not without hope. What Maggie discovered, and what I'm about to share with you, is that this type of sciatica often isn't coming from your back at all. It's caused by the irritation of the sciatic nerve in your hip region. And the best part? It's something you can start addressing right at home. Let's check them out. The first exercise we're going to do is to stretch your piriformis muscles. So I would like you to lie on your bed or lie on the floor, and we are going to stretch our left piriformis. So I want you to have your right leg straight, and I just want you to just give your left leg a bit of a cuddle, all right? And then from there, I want you to take your left knee towards your right shoulder. So we're just going to come across here, and you'll feel just a little bit of a stretch through that glute, and that might be all you need. And I just want you to hold that for a good 60 seconds. Be careful you don't feel too much of a pinch in that hip. If that is the case, you might just need to come off it a little bit, because we do not want to irritate your hip further. So if you find that quite easy and you're not really feeling that stretch, the progression on from that is to stretch it in a different angle. So I want you to now bend your right leg, cross your left leg onto your right, and that there will stretch your piriformis. If you're still not feeling that, I then want you to pop your hands behind your thigh, your right thigh, and just pull up. And we're just forcing that hip into greater external rotation, which will really stretch your buttocks further. And again, just really try and relax into this and hold this for a good 60 seconds. The progression from the stretches is to perform a pigeon pose, and the pigeon pose is actually one of my favorite exercises. So you could do this against your bed, you can do it on the arm of your sofa, whatever height suits you. So I want you to just cross, we're going to stretch our right leg. I want you to cross your right leg over your left. I then want you to bring your knee onto the bed, okay? From there, I then just want you to, with a straight back, I want you to bend forwards and go as low as you feel comfortable, and that will really stretch your piriformis muscle. If you're not quite feeling it, what you can do is bend your weighted leg. So in this instance, we're going to bend our left leg, and what that'll do is that'll just bring myself down, which will bring the hip into a greater external rotation, which will stretch that hip even further. And I want you to hold that for a good 60 to 90 seconds. The first strengthening exercise we're going to do is a clamshell. So I want you to lie on your side, and we're going to strengthen our right hip. So I want your knees at roughly 90 degrees with your feet together. I want you to imagine that we've got a pole through your hip, which comes all the way through onto the bed. So you then can't roll forwards or backwards, all right? So from here, I now want you to, keeping your feet together, just externally rotate. So you're lifting your knee up, and we're just holding it at the top there, making sure we're not rotating through the back, and that's where that pole comes into it. So imagine you've got that there. So we're gonna come up, we're gonna hold that for a good 10 seconds, and you'll feel a bit of a burn in your buttocks, and then we'll come off for a second, and then back up for another 10 seconds. And I want you to do 10-second holds with 1 second rest 10 times, and then repeat on the other side. The final strengthening exercise, I want you to lie on your side. We're going to strengthen our right hip. I want your legs to be completely straight. What I want you to do now is just lift your right leg up. I want you to turn your hip in ever so slightly. And now I just want you to go up and down. And just making sure that you do not rotate through the back again. So the only rotation is through the hip. So let's go through that again. We're going to lift up, we're going to turn our foot in, and then we're going to go up and down, and you'll really feel a burn in that buttock region. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I've tried exercises before, they didn't work. I hear you, but here's the thing. These exercises aren't just any exercises. They're specifically designed to address the root cause of Piriformis syndrome. Maggie started with just a few minutes a day at first. She found it challenging. There were days she wanted to give up, but she persisted, and gradually she noticed changes. The pain began to lessen. She could sit through a whole movie without discomfort. And then the day came when she could play with her grandkids pain-free. A common complaint I see in my clinic with the over 50s suffering with Piriformis syndrome is hip pain and weakness. Often, if you're suffering with Piriformis syndrome, you will most likely have a hip weakness. So if you are struggling with hip pain and weakness and want to reduce this instantly, make sure you click on the video and check it out.